So yeah, the quick backstory is that I have always hated being cold. I would do anything to avoid it. And so for me to now be running Monk, like I see the irony.
Yeah.
But I've always been really into the biohacking, health optimization side of things. And, I do a lot of the holistic stuff like workout, sauna and stuff. I eat raw frozen liver most mornings. So like I'm not averse to doing difficult things.
Yeah. Is that difficult, by the way?
It's would actually make it a lot easier. The key is to have it frozen, chop it up small, so almost like a steak tartare.
Yeah.
Some fermented hot sauce, and just get it done.
And what does that do for you?
Energy, it's incredible. It's supposed to be the most nutrient dense food in the planet.
Is it?
So
Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yes, get rid of the multivitamins, just eat raw frozen liver. But yeah, so I'm used to doing hard things, but I'd never touched being cold water therapy because I thought, why would anyone do that? And then I got invited to this breathwork and ice bath workshop. And honestly, I went along thinking, I'll just skip the ice bath bit. And I got bullied into doing it. And then afterwards, I just felt so good. And then I just wanted more of it. But the thing I found is that it was just really inaccessible, which sounds stupid because it's cold water. You should get it out of your tap.
We're in Britain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing led to another. And I actually just wanted to make my own ice bath. And I was speaking to my brother, who's, amazing at engineering and building things. And then I had a few friends saying, well, actually, I want one as well. Can you figure out how to do it for me? But the screw it, just do it moment for me was when I discovered this private Facebook group. And at the time, there were 6,000 people in it, which I thought was a lot. And I actually looked the other day, and I think there's nearly 80,000 people in this group now.
Wow, so it's more than 10x.
Yeah, and it's just dedicated to people learning how to transform their own chest freezers into a DIY ice bath. And that, for me, was the moment where I thought, if there's this many people willing to get electrocuted, have a really ugly product, clearly there's something not meeting their needs. So that really was the catalyst behind Monk, where I thought, well, I've got to create it.
Okay, and to create a more aesthetically pleasing version at the same time.
Yeah, with better functionality as well. And in all honesty, I've never built hardware before. I've never built software. So building hardware and software that has to talk to each other.
At the same time.
Yeah, it's quite a big ask. But yeah, here we are.
And recording this on the last day in February in 2024. Where are you at as a business? Where is Monk Ice Bath? Where can people get hold of them?
So we have just placed our first production order. So we're now in production, and we are going to have product in market this June, which is such a big milestone for us because, with product development, it always takes so much longer than you think. And I remember people saying to me, with hardware, however long you think it's going to take, triple the timeline and double the cost.
Wow.
And I was like, that will never happen to us. And it's basically textbook exactly
Really?
what's happened.
Is it?
Yeah. But it's been a labour of love. So yeah, now we're at the point where we've just gone live with pre-orders. So we're preparing for the launch, and just getting ready to really show the world what we can do.
What was your original vision with Monk, and how has that changed in the couple of years?
Oh, it's definitely changed a lot, because when I set out to create Monk, it was more about the hardware. It was just more about having this really beautiful bath with great functionality. And at some point it was like, oh, we need to have a companion app to kind of guide people through it. And at that point, we weren't really sure on what the role the app would take. But what we found out really quickly is that the biggest issue with cold water therapy is not not the accessibility, but it's that people don't know how to use it, like safely or effectively. And while it is, booming in popularity, people are also not doing it in a really safe way. And it's a really powerful tool, but it's got to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
And so that's where the app comes in for us. So we've got a load of different guided programs, depending on why you're doing it. Because if you were doing it for, muscle recovery or mental health, you'd use it in a really different way, but people don't know that.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop there. So it's interesting, like in my group who go into the sea, everyone's got their own different reasons for doing it. And when I started, it was because I was training for marathon at the time, and it was really good for inflammation, I found. Yeah, another of the guys really struggling with his mental health, with anxiety, etc. he was doing it because he found that fantastic release from doing that. Everyone's got their different reasons. So, yeah, tell me about that a little bit more then. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so there's so much nuance to it. But say, really broadly, if you're doing it for muscle recovery, you'd typically use it at a much higher temperature, like 10 to 15 degrees, and you'd stay in for longer. Whereas if you were doing it for, mental health to feel amazing, anxiety, whatever your reason is, you'd likely go at a lower temperature, but also do it for a short amount of time.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but then it gets so much more kind of in-depth, because depending on what kind of training you're doing, whether it's recovery or whether you're doing, endurance, whether you're doing strength, again, you'd use it in a different way. And there's been a lot of talk about how you shouldn't do it straight after a workout if you're just trying to grow muscle. And there's absolutely truth to that. So you want to leave it for a few hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this time last year, I did like 3 months, like small group training with a guy. I used to be... he's a strength and conditioning coach, basically. Amazing gym. And he was saying to me, I don't know if cold water therapy is that good for if you're going in straight after this. I said, no, I'm going in at the beginning of the morning, and then a couple of hours later, I'm coming to you, and that's it. Nice. But he was like saying there is science behind that. I didn't know that. Okay.
But if you were just doing it pure for, so say for muscle building, you want to leave it a few hours after, because it will blunt the hormetic response. So people say that could impact your muscle growth. And then you've got other people who are, experts in the field that will say, well, not enough. You're only doing it for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. It's not actually going to impact it. Yeah. But then also it depends on what you're doing. Like say, for example, if you're training and you just want inflammation to be cut down as much as possible so you can go out and run again the next day. Yeah. And that's the same often, say if you're, I don't know, a boxer and you've got an upcoming fight and it's just, you just want to train hard and hard and hard, that you might use it like that, and you might use it straight after. Whereas, so there's so much nuance
you could be
around
getting
it.
some real science behind the boxing part of it as well, couldn't you?
Yeah.
What's been one of the biggest learnings you've taken away so far of a 3-year journey, would you say?
I think learning to delegate has been such a big one. Yeah. And I'm not good at it yet. Okay. But I'm trying to get there. But I think that has been a really big learning curve. Also, I mean, I've never built hardware or software before, so I mean, every day I'm just doing things that are completely new. And I've had two businesses before, but for sure. Yeah, but I mean, neither of them were anything like this. No. But I think as long as you just have that relentless drive to knowing you have to get to where you want to be and you just won't give up, then you'll get there. It's
funny because it never, and maybe it is again a reflection of who I speak to, but in my mind, not doing the thing is not even an option. Not getting to the end. It might be a pivot and go in a completely different direction, but I'm still doing the thing. Whereas for other people, maybe that is a thing. And it's the same for me, whether I was chatting to one of the guys from Who Dares Wins, Staz, and I was saying, like, doing the marathon, because he was training for London this year, and I was talking about New York and stuff, and he was giving an example of when he was in physical pain, mental pain, he would take himself away to this place and build like his dream house. And he goes like, now we're working on the loft and we're doing... And I was like, I love that. Because I said, like, when I did the marathon, I took myself away, but I was like I can't ever get this word right. Oh my God.
Compartmentalizing?
That word. Yes. I did it with him as well when I did it. I couldn't say the word. Doing that, because I'm not going to try it, with the pain and just going, okay, that right quad's shutting down, this left calf, and I've just compartmentalizing it. I did it, there you go. Putting that away, whereas he actually took himself away to another place entirely and starts building his dream house, and I'm like, that's so cool. Where'd you get that from,
I like that. I'll do that next time I run on a treadmill.
It's a really interesting one though, isn't it? And I think that's just never an option. And I was saying that to him, that just when I did the marathon, it was never an option that I was going to quit, even though you're in so much physical pain, mental, you're in completely another planet. Finishing, even if it meant, walking, crawling, you just have to get to the end. But for other people, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think especially when it comes to at least running a business, maybe not a marathon, but you have to be a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand what you actually have to go through. People think, oh, you just got to give up some evenings and weekends, but it's not even scratching the surface.
No.
Like the mental isolation and stuff you have to go through.
Yeah.
And you just have to give up all of your mental bandwidth and your sanity. Like I've had it when I've been out with friends and we're having dinner on like the rare occasion you can get out to do that, and they're talking at me and my mind is just like a million miles elsewhere.
Yeah. Same.
And yeah, you just have to sacrifice so much, and you're just constantly, it's like a duck treading water. And yeah, you have to really be prepared to go through it.